Well, hello everyone on and off the Boonary. It's me, Caricature, and we are back for Chara's creepy catwalk commentary. And today we're going to be getting into some deliciously wicked looks from the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 5's Meet Our Monsters promo. I'm really excited to be back making content like this because I haven't done it since 2020, but then, like many other people, I lost my job, got sexily depressed, and burnt out on everything that I was doing at the time, including making those videos. I took some time, I started streaming, I started doing drag a lot more, I've somewhat figured out how to do my makeup, some may say. But if you look at this now, and look at what I used to look like when I first started doing these reviews, whoa, night and day, diva, night and day. I'm personally really excited for this upcoming season of Dragula, primarily because I felt the last couple seasons have really steered into being a reality show first and foremost, which at the end of the day, they're all a reality show. But the focus became on the drama and the love triangle of Titans and stuff like that. But my biggest thing is the Boulets are saying that this season is going to go back to focusing on the art. That's what I liked about the earlier seasons, was it felt like it was more of a focus on that with like some slight reality show drama. Obviously, as a drag artist and performer myself, I love that aspect a lot. I love seeing a different angle to drag, and I'm really excited to see what these contestants can do. So let's get into all of them, shall we? Starting off with Anaphylactic, who I have followed for a very long time. I'm very excited to see what she's going to bring to the show. I think she has this level of theater and drama to her that's going to make her floor show presentations very interesting and very engaging. I'm a big fan of the House of Gorgeous and Cheddar Gorgeous in general. I love the fact that both her and Cheddar, in their respective promos for their shows, they both have like bee-themed looks, which I think is very fun. I also love like anaphylaxis from the bee stings as an idea. I'm personally really excited to see the level of glam and polish she's going to bring to the show. And I cannot wait, and I'm so happy for her and this new opportunity. Okay, up next we have Blackberry. Blackberry is another contestant that I'm really familiar with, another contestant that I know is really all about everything being polished, finished, that final attention to detail. So I love every little bit of this. It's so well done, it's so clean. I love that we get more bearded drag on TV in any capacity. One of my really good friends in my local drag scene, Venus DeMilo, I know she's rooting for Blackberry to take home the crown. If everything that she presents on the show is this level of quality, would not be surprised if she did. Up next, we have Cynthia Doll, who I love a reference. And I love the fact that her hair is a reference to her namesake. I think that's very fun. Originally, I wasn't super sold on her look. Of everything, hers is one of the least, like, instantly impressive. I think it is definitely one of the most fashion-centric looks of the group. I didn't really care for the jacket, but then I saw the trailer and saw it in motion, and this jacket moves beautifully. Like, the way this fringe is cut, her interview is really what sold me on being interested in what she does this season. If I was basing it off of this look alone, she's not somebody who I personally would think would go super far, but she's got a great personality for TV. Now knowing that she approaches everything more from a fashion angle, I'm really excited to see just exactly how that is going to translate into the challenges, because that's something I'm going to be doing in these play-alongs as well. So, curious to see what reference pool she's got for some of this stuff. Alrighty, up next, we have, in the words of Tanya McQuad, Mother, Fantasia Royale Gaga. I'm so excited for her on this season. I think she's going to be great to watch, and I feel like there's going to be some very interesting conversations around her perspective in drag, being very like traditional drag queen, very pageanty, very showgirl, and not as much of the alt, the punk, the horror filthy side of Dragula as much. So I'm very interested to see how she's going to fit her drag to the challenges, or make the challenges fit her. Either way, I see her going very far. I think she is going to make for some great TV also, and I hope she makes top 4. She's personally in my top 4 for the season. She's excellent, and I cannot wait to see her get her flowers that this woman has long deserved. If we're getting into the look here, personally, it's not necessarily my favorite. I do really like the exaggerated silhouette. I do wish that some of the stripes lined up a little better, but I understand, like, with her silhouette, that's not an easy thing to do. I wish the gloves were longer. I wish they went like up to the shoulder almost. I think she's going to have some of the best makeup in terms of like classic face glam in this competition. So I'm very excited to see what she's gonna do with that too. I'm just excited in general, I guess. Okie dokie. Up next, we have my absolute fave from this season, from the promos, the preseason stuff. Darius Hammer is taking it for me. Like, he's the one I'm the most excited to see anything from. I love his approach to drag, being very comedy, but like with a little sense of horror, that little macabre twist to it. His interview is so funny. He is so method in his character as well. I love that he's got like this whole little universe for Jarvis. I love that there's inside jokes, references. He's got an origin story, which I think is very fun. He's very camp. The makeup on this look, if you get up close on this, is incredible. The level of detail and precision that is in this. The lapel being this kind of like oozy ectoplasm silhouette is such a cool cut. I love the sleeves. I love a dramatic sleeve. I love some distressed moments. Kind of gives me Liberace in a fun way. I think he's gonna be very silly. For me, that would take him all the way to the end. But on this type of a show, I do kind of wonder if this like waka waka jokey approach that he takes to drag isn't going to fit within the Dragula mold necessarily as well as I would like it to. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. I think he's gonna go far. I hope he's gonna go far. And I think most of all, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do on these floor shows, because men's fashion and like drag kings that can pull a look together like this, that looks great on stage, that moves well, and is like high concept. Oh, it's mwah. It's so good to me. I come from a family of all drag kings. Like, I'm the only queen in my drag family. When I see a high polished king like this, it is, oh, it's one of my favorite things. I love it so much. I love drag kings immensely. So when I see a well put together high concept drag king, it brings me an immense amount of joy. So I cannot wait to see what he's going to do on the show this season. Up next, we have from Brooklyn, JK. I will say, of the promo looks as a whole, this is probably my least favorite. I think when you put it next to everything else, to me, it doesn't stack up as much. I love this like tongue-in-cheek reference on the eyes in this makeup, which I didn't know until I watched the interview. The eye makeup on their chest piece is the same eye makeup and like the same shape and cut in the cut crease as their actual makeup in this look, which I adore, that level of detail. I love that like the cut under the eyebrow is the same, the eyebrow shape, which you can't really tell because the black kind of fades away into the purple of this chest piece. I have a feeling Jay's gonna be a pretty polarizing contestant. I feel like you're either gonna really like JK or you're just not going to. And that level of polarization is something that I think works pretty well on Dragula. We'll see how it pans out. At the end of the day, Jay's got a mouth, and so I'm excited to see how that's going to play into the competition and the dynamics, the drama in the cauldron, in the boudoir, all of that. All right, before we get into this next contestant, we do need to take a second to address the fact that they do have some pretty serious SA allegations against them, allegations that they have since denied multiple times. I'm going to be posting a link in the description below to both the original allegations made against them in 2021, along with a link to their statement of denial of said allegations. I am not going to tell people one way or another what to believe. This situation has developed to be fairly complicated. At the end of the day, there are people who are going to be in her camp who are going to stand by her because she denied said allegations. There are people who are going to be standing against her because the allegations exist in the first place. Personally, I'm not a fan of this next contestant. The allegations did not help, but I didn't like them because they did NFTs. And that's a choice. Whether we like it or not, this person is on the show. We're gonna talk about the look, but I am gonna keep my statements on them to a min. Up next, we had Mulu X. This look to me, it's okay. The level of detail in it is great. It looks very well made. I think they have a very interesting perspective on drag. Their makeup is incredible up close. And I think that they are a very talented artist. They are very skilled at what they do. One of my favorite things about drag is how personal of an art form it is, and I cannot wait to see what they do in terms of bringing their culture and their experience to the show. I just wish that she wasn't coming into this competition with these allegations. because it's going to affect how a lot of us view her in the court of public opinion. Personally for me, would I buy a ticket to her show? No. I just don't like the fact that she was part of the NFT crowd, and that's enough for me to not support. I think she's great at what she does, and I can respect her work as an artist, but that's where my support ends. Okay, up next we have Onyx on Dix, and I have to say, I had quite a visceral reaction to her interview. I'll put it in here so you all can see it.
Such as pin cushion, which is I put needles through my neck. I do staple gun. I put mouse traps on my nipples. I can put a cord through my nose and pull it out my mouth. And I fit about most household objects up my...
Oh, she scares me. And I know that's what she's going for. So like, mission accomplished. The level of like dedication to doing stuff to her body for the sake of a performance on stage. Oh, just the thought of it sends like chills up my spine. And for my own personal sake as a viewer who does not deal well with body stuff and gore and things like that, I kind of hope she goes home early because I don't want to see it. Is that bad to say? I really like this look. I think it's very fun and interesting. You can't see it in this photo, but when she turns around, she's got a bloody handprint on her ass, which I think is a very cute detail. I think she could potentially do very well. I think she's gonna be the one who's really gonna be hardcore, bringing the filth aspect and the like shock factor to alt drag. That's not a type of drag that I personally really gel with. So her style of drag may not be for me. I'm excited to see her do things that aren't all of that. And I hope if she does all of it, she does it safely and she doesn't hurt herself, because like, that's my biggest concern, diva. Which leads us to our next contestant, who I think is legitimately the scariest member of this cast, Orotic. This look is very much giving like Hellraiser, which I think is fun. I know they referenced in their Meet Our Monsters interview that their name comes from like killer whales, which I think is also quite fun. And so I would love to see them do like a full killer whale fantasy. The way their prosthetics had cracked by the time they were talking in the interview, I think only added to the level of horror of their look. They feel like such an auteur of horror that I personally am like genuinely creeped out by them. I'm sure they're very nice, very lovely. I think they like eat, sleep, live, breathe their art, which I love. They're one who I'm like, how am I gonna deal with watching them on the show? But I hope they do well. I think they're bringing a very interesting perspective. They're certainly one who's made one of the bigger impressions on me out of this cast. I think the red accents are really smart in this look, if only for the fact that it breaks up all of the black, because if it was just black the whole way, I think it would just get lost and you wouldn't be able to see the design, you wouldn't be able to see the detailing in this. And when you get up close to it, it's really well made. It looks great. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the show, especially with them coming into this competition with the angle of like being a filmmaker. I think they're going to have a really great sensibility of how they perform on stage and how to like read on camera. And I think that's going to make ultimately for a more interesting viewing experience. Hopefully I don't get traumatized in the process. Up next, we have Satana, who I will say, I do like the Y2K aesthetic of this look. Her makeup up close, so good. So clean, so precise. I'm always envious of girls who can do really precise line work in their makeup because it's something I certainly can't do at this point in time. So her makeup up close, fantastic, incredible. I do think that her approach to everything kind of being cutesy, pink, feminine, but still horror, still monster, is an interesting angle. It's very Monster High, but like Monster High meets Bad Girls Club in a way that I think is kind of fun. But she's another one that I'm kind of worried that that aesthetic is going to ultimately hinder her in the competition, in the same way with Jarvis, where like she's coming in with such a defined aesthetic. There's a few contestants, you know, they get the wrong challenge for their aesthetic, they don't do well, and it sends them home on a challenge that's not their strong suit. I hope that's not what happens. I hope she does well, and I am curious to see more of this like monster bimbo doll on the show. I also just really like these fishnets. I think that's a very fun pattern. Okay, up next we have our final contestant, Throb Zombie. I wish I could have seen what the wings said in this shot, but in the videos we see it says "Bite Me Vladdy," which I think is so fun because, you know, like Vlad the Impaler. Throb has a really cool perspective on drag where it's, you know, it's a little bit of everything. It's king, it's a little bit of femme, it's monster, all wrapped into one universe. And I love drag that's like that, that's very gender bendy and gender fucky, and I think that's the realm that Throb really lives in. So I'm excited to see that through the lens of horror. I can tell just from their interview, obviously, they're a huge horror fanatic. I can't wait to see the references. I do like that the shoes, the way they're angled in this photo, I didn't notice this. It almost looks like it says boo across the heels, which is cute. I also just love that he's a bat for this because I love bats. They're so cute. And I think Throb is another one that has such a versatility to his drag that could take him really far just on that alone. Personally, my top 4 includes him. I think he's arguably the most versatile in the top 4. I want to see Fantasia do well because I think she's going to be great TV, and I think she's going to be a real wild card contestant. It's going to surprise a lot of people. I want to see Anna do really well because I love Anaphylactic, and I think she really exemplifies this like glamour ghost character. And then we've got Jarvis, who just straight up is a ghost. Maybe I just have a thing for ghost characters and bats. I am genuinely excited for this. I learned a lot about these contestants through the interviews that I definitely did not get from these original first impressions that I got out of their photos. So highly recommend checking out both the Boulet Brothers podcast episode for their season 5 casting special, where you get a good inside sense from them and Ian on the team of who all of these people are. And also check out the Meet Our Monsters interview so that way you can see them in their own words, describing their drag, what their drag means to them, all of that stuff. And that's going to be a wrap on our sort of episode 0 for season 5 of the Boulet Brothers Dragula. Here's the look I designed for this season's promo. And they'll be posting a behind the scenes video over on my TikTok where you can kind of get an idea of the design notes, the references that I pulled from when I made the design for this look. Each and every week you can head on over to my Instagram to see the full illustration, along with a cute little post about the makeup from this episode that is loosely inspired by more of a beauty take on the look I designed. In addition to designing my own look for each theme of the runways and the promo and all of that fun stuff for this season, I love drawing other people's drag. So I've decided to challenge myself and really try my best to maintain doing this the entire season and do a cute little illustration of my favorite look from each week. And for this set of promo looks, I mean, by now you should know. You should have gathered based on my reaction to things. It's gotta be Darius Hammer. So be sure to head over to my Instagram or my Twitter. I'm gonna post it in both places. Not to be a basic piece of candy corn or anything, but if you enjoyed the video, I would greatly appreciate if you would like, comment, subscribe, and or all of the above, some combination. It would really mean a lot to me because one of my goals going into the end of 2023 and into 2024 is to get the channel in the position where I'm able to apply for the YouTube Partner Program so I can monetize my videos. And I know ads are annoying, but you know, the doll has some bills she's got to pay. So I would greatly appreciate any support in that regard. And coming by every week for even more Dragula content. We'll probably do some Drag Race stuff too. Probably not the international seasons, even though I do watch them all because quite frankly, I can feel the burnout already if I would do that. And I don't need that. And one last thing, I know I'm being annoying with all these things to go like and follow and blah, 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 but I would really love if you would come hang out with us over on Twitch and join the caravan. We have a wonderful, very cozy little community that's all very nerdy. We talk about Drag Race and Dragula and all that stuff all the time, but we also talk about sometimes some serious stuff, sometimes some silly things. Primarily, I'm a shiny hunter, so you can find me on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays working on a massive bingo card of 225 shiny Pokemon targets that we are getting close to 90 on at the time I'm recording this video, which is very exciting. And you can also find me over there on Saturdays. Every other Saturday, I'm over on the Stream Queens official channel playing Dungeons and Dragons with a group of my stream teammates. It's very silly, it's very fun. If you want to see some absolute chaos of a party of absolute gorgeous, giant, attractive people and their little frog friend played by me, I think you'll be in for a treat. But before we go today, I'm dying to know, what are you all hoping we get in terms of floor show themes this season? Personally, for me, I would love if they had to do a video game themed floor show or something based off of plants. I think botanical horror is an interesting angle that they haven't really done all that much with. So I would be very curious to see what people would do with something like that. As always, take care of yourselves and be kind to yourselves. And until the next time we see you, toodle boo!